Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we are going to rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go to the house of the Lord. What a blessing, what a privilege, what an honor it is to share with you on this day, July the 4th, 2025, for our morning devotional. Before we kick it off, we want to continue to be in prayer for all of our members who are sick, in a season of loss and bereavement. We want to pray for Sister Bobby and Deacon George Curtis and the passing of her mother, Sister Eliza Lee Davis, and she will be funeralized on tomorrow morning at Grace Emmanuel Family Hour at 10. Funeral service starting promptly at 11 a.m. Then certainly we want to invite each and every one of you out to worship on Sunday morning, as we will be sharing a wonderful word that I believe will bless your life from 1 John chapter 3, verse 16, living by design, not by default. We have been talking the last couple of days about the importance of deepening our discipline. If you would do me a favor on this morning, if you would type that in the comment section, hashtag discipline, hashtag discipline. We have been talking about how to deepen our discipline. Our core scripture is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 24 through 27. If my memory serves correct, I gave you two steps so far that we need to make sure that we deepen our discipline. Number one, master our moods. We can't be up one minute, down the next, level today, way out in left field on tomorrow. So we have to master our moods. Then I told you that if we're going to deepen our discipline, it will be evidenced in our ability to watch our words. I remember coming along as a little boy. Never will forget this. In first grade, somebody was saying something, and I told the teacher, and the teacher said, repeat after me, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And while I believe she meant well, that's the biggest lie ever told. Words can be a moment on the lips, but a lifetime in the heart. And they can last forever. So you have to watch your words. And so this morning, I want to begin with the third step, or the third key, and that is restrain your actions. Restrain your actions. Proverbs 19:11 says, a wise man restrains his anger and overlooks insults. This is to his credit. Now, if we were to be honest, when someone has done you wrong in the past, how bad have you really wanted to get even with them? Right. And let's take it even a step further. Do you find it easy to fly off the handle or to lose your temper? I've heard people say this in the past. As soon as I see him, or as soon as I see her, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. We better stop giving away pieces of our mind, because we need all of the mind that we can get. A short fuse, a person who cannot disagree with you without disliking you or discuss a hot subject without getting hot, has a discipline problem. And we have to make certain and sure that we make sure that our temper stays disciplined. If I have to punch a wall because people don't see things my way, something's wrong with me and not them. If I have to cuss you out simply because you're not agreeing with my point of view, in that moment I am exhibiting an undisciplined mind. Not an unruly tongue, but an undisciplined mind, because the tongue is only going to say what's already in the mind. And so at the end of the day, the issue is discipline. I hope you already typed that in. Discipline. The question this morning is, how much does it take to tick you off? Is it one little thing, or is it everything? Booker T. Washington said, I will never allow another man to control my life by making me hate him. It's a very powerful statement. I will never allow another man, or you could put a woman there, or a woman, to control my life by making me to hate him or her. When we say you make me mad, what are we admitting? Because who's in control of us? Somebody else? Somebody else is in control of our attitudes. He or she is controlling the way that we feel. When I'm angry, watch this. This is helping me right now. When I'm angry because of you, that usually means that on some level you're controlling me. Isn't it amazing that children learn this skill at a very early age? A child understands I may be small, I may not be as powerful, but if I can make mommy mad, guess who's in control? But a disciplined person restrains his action. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5 says, keep your head in all situations. In the poem If by Rudyard Kipling, it begins by saying, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Disciplined people choose to act rather than react so that they are never controlled by the circumstances. You've got to be one of those people that when the ground is crumbling beneath your feet, people may be running and pulling their hair out and panicking, but you ought to be able to stand there safe and secure and give them a timely word because you understand that you're not controlled by circumstance. Proverbs 16:32 says, he who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. In other words, it's better to have control of yourself than it is to control an entire city. If you want to be successful, deepen your discipline in these areas. What I tell you, master your moods, watch your words, restrain your actions, and here's the fourth one. Stick to your schedule. Do me a favor and type that in the comment section. #schedule. Stick to your schedule. Now, some of us have to develop a schedule or write out a schedule before we can stick to a schedule. In other words, when you don't have a schedule, we're living accidentally rather than intentionally. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 and 16 says, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. Here it is, underline it, making the most of every opportunity. You ever seen people who are always late? Not, I don't like to use the word always. That's too much of an absolute. But have you seen people who are consistently late? The reality is we all have the same amount of time. We all have 168 hours in a week. Why are some people more productive and effective than the rest of us? The answer, my friend, is personal discipline. Discipline is demonstrated. In other words, the outgrowth of discipline is setting a schedule and sticking to it. How well do you manage your time? Because here's the reality. All of us have to face 3 facts of life. Number 1, to be a success in anything, it takes time. Nothing is done overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. And neither will be you becoming a master of your craft. So all of us got to face that first thing, that to be a success in anything, it takes time. Number 2, we don't have time for everything, so we have to be selective. You have people running around here who will literally walk around with their arms out saying, add more to my plate. Add more to my plate. You want to be active and do everything in your fraternity. You want to be active and do everything in your lodge. You want to be active and do everything in your ministry at the church. You want to be active and do everything on your job. Every time there's someone offering an opportunity to be of service somewhere, which in and of itself is not bad, but you can't be all things to all people all the time. Because if you're constantly pouring out, you'll never have time to be poured into, and you're going to be running on empty. We don't have time for everything. I've been telling you all this for weeks now. When you know what your purpose is, it will not only tell you what you ought to be doing, it will also tell you what you ought not to be doing. Your purpose will not only tell you what to say yes to, but your purpose will also tell you what to say no to. Every now and then, maybe even more often than not, it is better to say no. My grandmother used to say this in jest. Don't be a jack of all trades and master of none. So if you're gonna make it to this next level, if you're going to deepen your discipline, you're going to have to face the 3 facts of life. Number 1, to be successful in anything, it takes time. 2, we don't have time for everything, so we got to be selective. And here's the third one. If we don't decide how we're going to spend our time, other people will decide for us. I'll say that one again. If we don't decide how we're going to spend our time, other people will decide for us. There are people in the world who are natural born givers. Natural born. I mean, they come out of the womb with a spirit of giving. And givers have to be very, very careful that they don't get linked up and hooked up with a taker. Because just like the giver oftentimes doesn't have any boundaries on their giving, a taker doesn't have any boundaries on their taking. And so you have to make sure that you understand that you have to create the boundaries, because if you don't manage your time, there's always somebody out there who will try to tell you what you ought to be doing with your time. Have you ever experienced when somebody comes up to you and asks you, I probably shouldn't tell the story because it's going into my next point for Monday, but walks up to you and asks you for some money and you tell them no, and then they hit you with the, come on, man, I know you got it. Or they ask you for money and you give it to them with the understanding that they're going to pay you back on a certain day and time. And then when that day and time comes back, you don't hear from them. And then when you call to inquire about your money, they have the nerve to act like, man, why you tripping on that little $200? Well, it wasn't a little $200 when I gave it to you. But what they're doing, they are crossing a boundary, because, again, if you don't set it, someone will. So we've already talked about that it's time to deepen our discipline. And if we're going to do that, we got to master our moods. We got to watch our words. We got to restrain our actions. And then we must stick to our schedule. And then with that, I'm out of time because I got to go out here and get this fire going like many of you are going to be doing over that barbecue pit on today. I don't know how you feel about it, but it is absolutely therapeutic to me. And so I'm enjoying it. But I want to take the moment to personally invite you to worship this Sunday at the 10 o'clock service. We are going to be sharing from 1 John chapter 3, verse number 16. And the title that we are sharing with the people of God is Living by Design, Not by Default. Listen, I don't do it a lot, but every now and again I'll tell you when it's a good one and you don't want to miss it. This right here is a good one and you don't want to miss it. Join us 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be glad to see you. Remember, all deacons, we're meeting at 8:45. All of my ministers are meeting with you at 8:30. And then we will all be meeting with the ushers at 9 o'clock a.m. on Sunday morning, right in the sanctuary. Listen, be blessed, be encouraged, and no matter what you're facing, remember this, hold on, because help is on the way, and the best is yet to come. Enjoy those ribs, those pork steaks, potato salad, coleslaw, hot dogs, and hamburgers, because the best